Hello, everyone. Welcome back. And this is the 4 o'clock printmaking panel presentation for Limbag Kamay Contemporary Print Fair. This is Angela Silva, your friendly printmaker with a lot of questions. Today's panel, rather this one right now, is another conversation among four groups actually, printmaking art groups in the Visayas. I'll be talking with Marika Constantino of KANTINA in Roxas City, and we have Irma Lacorte and Palattao from Dumaguete, and Gabi Nazareno from Bohol, and myself in Negros. So right there, I thought that we've got some good island, representation going for printmaking. So I hope you'll sit back, enjoy our video, and we'll see you at the live Q&A at the end. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me. So this is for Print Fair, Limbag Kamay, and the presentation today is going to be about community printmaking practices in the Philippines during the pandemic. And it's parang the bayanihan spirit. How are we going to get through the pandemic, either with our single studio practice or with our social practice as communities. So I want to introduce to everyone that we have Gabi Nazareno. Say hi, Gabi.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi from Bohol.
We've got Marika Constantino from Roxas City. Say something.
Hello.
Ayan. And then we've got Irma Lacorte and Palattao from Dumaguete, ILCP. Good. So I'm so glad you could come, and we're going to try to keep this as instructive and conversational as possible. So basically reactions, questions, and sharing. So I'm going to start my share screen now, and I'd love to see your reactions. Okay, so it's a slideshow presentation, community printmaking practices in the Bayanihan spirit. So, my friends, thank you for joining me. The conversation is with, I've introduced you, KANTINA and Marika, Roxas City, Irma and Palattao for ILCP Dumaguete, Gabi Nazareno, Bohol, and me, Angela Silva, in Talisay, Negros Occidental. So the next screen is going to be Marika. Just briefly, Marika, say something, tell us about who you are and what you do. How about that?
Okay, I'm Marika Constantino. I'm an artist and a curator. I also write from time to time, but since October of 2019, I partially relocated to Roxas City in Capiz. And in February 2020, I established KANTINA. It's an art space for co-learning and co-creation.
Great, thanks. Any questions, Gabi, for Marika, Roxas City? We're going to, try and... Diba, Marika, we were going to try and visit you in Roxas City, Magroro, from Negros to Panay Island, sana.
Actually, what would be nice if like the four of us can, once the pandemic is over or it's safer, it would be nice if we could go to all these different Visayan provinces, diba?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna talk about that soon. Okay? What we have now is Irma and ILCP. So say a little something about your individual, studio practice, who you are, what you do, and then social practice.
Okay, hi, I'm Irma Lacorte. We transferred here to Dumaguete 7 years ago, and I teach fine arts. studio practice, I try very hard to find time. Yung pinakamahirap gawin. And luckily for us, we found friends who are supportive na pinapagamit nila yung spaces nila for us to create art. And since last Feb, after we attended Angela's printmaking workshop, dumalas, no? Dumalas yung ano namin, art making time. So ano pa ba? Nasabi ko na ba? I think ayan na yan. We established or we formed this ILCP Art Space. Mostly, syempre dahil pa rin sa pandemic, hindi ka makagalaw, hindi ka makalabas for exhibitions or interactions with other artists or mga art spaces. Initially, para lang ito sana sa output namin. Kasi saan ko ilalagay? Saan namin ilalagay yung mga ginagawa namin? Parang itatago lang ba namin after? So, sige, ayan, set up kami ng art space and then naisip namin parang pwede naman natin siya i-expand pa with other artists here in Dumaguete na magre-respond, magugustuhan nila mag-join. And so ayan, ang ano namin, ano bang tawag dyan? Yung initial activity namin, ano bang nauna? Yung workshop ni Angela, no?
Yes.
Okay, and then workshop ni Angela, I think magkasabay yan na kumukuha ako na paano ko i-register para maging legal entity si Art Space. And then dumating si, can I mention Art in the Park?
Yeah.
Dumating yung opportunity and then parang, wow, sige, marami na tayong nagawa. Let's sell our stuff.
So we joined Art in the Park. July.
The special edition.
Yeah.
And ayan, nag-invite kami ng mga artists, mga paspasan lang, and then ayan, lumawak ng kaunti yung ano namin, yung itong ILCP Art Space, and it's an online art space. So medyo na-form yung format niya. Again, dahil doon sa setup natin ngayon. So, iba ang exhibition online, and then we were thinking of, napunta, by default, of course, mapupunta kami doon sa paggamit ng spaces like dagat or garden for exhibition siguro or installation. Hindi pa kami masyadong makagalaw. Hindi natuloy yung first art activity sana doon sa isang beach in Santa Catalina.
Wow.
Dahil nag-lockdown ng grabe that time, and then push and then so hanapin namin ng time yang paggamit namin ng buong province as a art space. Yan yung pantasya namin. Parang wala kaming space. Sige, may dagat naman, may bundok, may garden. I don't know, may puno ng aratilis. Kung saan lang kami maka-set up. And then, very conscious kami doon sa, anong tawag dito? Huwag mag-follow ng established formats of an art space. Kung ano yung available, kung ano yung mangyayari yung iniisip namin. So yun, parang ang dami ko nang sinabi. So yun ang ILCP Art Space. Yes.
How about Tin?
Yes, Marika.
I just wanted to know what ILCP stands for.
Names namin. Irma Lacorte at saka Christine Palattao.
Ayan okay. Din. Initial.
Hindi na kami nag-isip ng iba pang names na ewan ko kung bakit parang
mas madali sa DTI.
Isa pa yan. Mas madali sa DTI kasi it's your initials and then our initials. Tapos, gusto ko din lumabas doon sa, pag tiningnan mo yung mga pangalan ng galleries, parang, profound, ganyan. Parang may template ba siya? So, ayun, parang factual lang siya lahat, and, or parang, wala, ayun nga, parang, sige, name lang, wala siyang gustong ibig sabihin, or ganyan. I have nothing with other names, pero kami lang yan siya na, ito yung ano namin, ganito yung gagamitin namin na format, na blueprint namin. Hindi kami susunod sa yung best practices, of course, susundin. Pero yung kunyari, kailangan namin ng wall space, hindi kami maghahabol ng ganyang standards. Unang-una kasi wala, and then pangalawa, bakit natin hahabulin kung wala? So,
hold that thought, Irma. Hold that thought, because there might be possibilities later in this conversation, no? Tin naman, ikaw,
yes.
you're a weekend artist, evening
Yes.
artist, weekend warrior. Oh,
So, hi, I'm Tin. For the weekdays naman, for the week, ako ay full-time copy editor. So, and other stuff. Tapos, ang aking artistic practice, I usually do it on weekends, particularly Saturdays. Kasi yun din yung available time si Irma and the other people that we work with. And then, currently, we're having these printmaking sessions, especially right after our workshop with Angela last Feb. Last Feb, yeah. Ayun. Then we try to, as siguro coping mechanism then for this pandemic, the lockdown yan. And then kung ano mga personal stuff then because of the pandemic again. We try to move forward by creating art, and then we found this printmaking practice to be suitable or very therapeutic for us. Actually, 4 na kami ngayon every Saturday, and then we try to keep learning, keep printing, and we hoard stuffs now. We hoard papers, we hoard inks, brayers, lahat. Ino-hoard na namin ngayon.
Uy, you're going to share your secrets with us, how you get the supplies, because I know Irma's very creative with making things up, finding substitutions and alternatives. Kasi you actually had your students develop, you developed a course where they had to make up their own ink or something. So hold that thought. Hold that thought. Okay.
Hindi mo na-mention yung photography.
Uy, cyanotypes. That's another.
Yes, cyanotypes, yes. Ayun din, nag-create din ako ng cyanotype prints. And then, ngayon medyo, yun yung cyanotype, mas naisisingit ko siya during the day kasi pwede ko na siya iwan, di katulad ng sa printmaking na kailangan hands-on, full attention ako sa kanya. So weekdays, cyanotypes, weekends, printmaking.
Ayan, we'll have another discussion on cyanotypes.
Ayaw niya i-mention, actually nag-start yung practice niya as photography. She had 2 art exhibits here sa isang restaurant cafe na very supportive sa mga artists dito. So ayaw niya i-mention, ewan ko kung bakit, pero dati pa yan, like the second year that we are here in Dumaguete, nag-take na siya ng pictures. Ayaw niya sabihin na photographer siya. So, nag-take siya ng pictures.
We will learn to be a bit more, like confident, more sharing about what we do. So keep that again in mind, because it's the only way we can learn about each other and we can also support each other, diba? So I'd like to introduce you to Gabi Nazareno, who's got a very good background already as an established artist. Gabi, take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabi Nazareno. I'm a visual artist. I had I was lucky to be able to be a full-time artist right after graduation. I graduated in 2017 from UP, and then I had my solo show in 2020, and then the pandemic happened, and what I thought would be a quick trip home turned out to be parang ano na, transfer, parang transfer na for good. Ayun. Though I don't regret that naman. Ang saya naman. Pero yun, nami-miss ko yung community. So, dun siguro mapupunta yung social practice na hinahanap ko yung community ng printmakers. And I hope to be part of siguro creating a community here. Ayun. And then, fortunately, si Angela, she reached out to me, and then she mentioned na she was offering yung workshop. Tapos, ang exciting kasi parang nabigyan niya ako ng confidence na i-share din yung skill. At yun, kahit may mga difficulties along the way in just trying to complete the workshop, parang ang ganda niya na natapos. Parang may sense of achievement na, kaya pala, kahit may pandemic, kahit online. Ayun.
Yes. I'm so glad then that it really worked out. The four of us trying to do something and stay connected. So with that, I'm going to introduce myself. Hala, I am Angela Silva. I call my studio practice Rolling Paper Press. I hope I'm not dating myself, no? So I'm based in Talisay, Negros Occidental. I retired here in 2015 from the US. I learned printmaking abroad. And then when I came here and I settled down, I realized that the local community of printmakers, of course, they're always based in Manila. And I'm very lonely in Negros. So I would go to Manila for shows or exhibitions. And yet, I also got into the local art community here in Bacolod, through the Art District and Orange Project Gallery. So that's how I got in with a couple of group shows. And I started out with cyanotypes. But I always wanted to go back to printmaking, and I thought 2021 was going to be the year for me of printmaking. And then pandemic. Through Viva Excon, I wanted to travel to all the islands and have workshops with my small press. And it didn't happen because of the pandemic. So it was just always in the back of my head. And I just said, okay, it'll happen when it's safer and, when I find opportunities. So what happened then was that I have this history of conducting workshops, educating people before the pandemic, like, life before the pandemic and then life after the pandemic. So what happened was I had held a few workshops already throughout Bacolod, and I was collaborating with local artists. After March 2020, that's when I started to reach out to you guys. And then we were able to collaborate and hold online workshops in Roxas City, Dumaguete, Bohol, and Iloilo. So here's a quick picture of one of my workshops, the first one ever, through Metrobank and their program. It was held at the Negros Museum. I was invited to hold and introduce printmaking by Noel El Farol in 2017. But I didn't think I could finish or show the entire scope for 1.5 hours. I invited Jude Jacoselem, who's a silkscreen artist, and Roy Aguilar from LCC to teach and to exhibit, demo. It was all demonstrations, relief rubber cut. So what you have here is Roy Aguilar surrounded, and we're surrounded by all these local teachers, school teachers. And then Jude here is doing silk screen, and then I'm doing an intaglio print using my etching press. And, they were so excited, and it was like, parang, it's part of the DepEd curriculum to teach printmaking. But they have to admit, they don't know how. So I've always kept that in the back of my head. Right after that, I had a chance to do jamming with the prints at Orange Project Gallery shortly after. So again, I pulled in Roy Aguilar, Jude Jacoselem, and me. And so here is Jude doing a silk screen of chocolate syrup on lumpia wrapper, pita bread. You can do it. Okay, it's fun. And then here is some of the prints that we made. Here's the rubber cut demonstration with Roy. And then again, I repeated my intaglio demonstration. So when you have a venue like, Orange, or any gallery or any space that has a sort of community program, that's a place that you could approach. Negros Museum was one, and then now Orange Project, because they say they're an artist-run space. Once Cafe is also in the art district in Bacolod. So what I wanted to do was reach out, because the print day in May is an actual international event. It's always on the first Saturday in May. And during that day, printmakers all over the world, I think it's about 7 years old already, they say they can register, we are going to make prints that day. So I asked Once Cafe, can I have a relief printmaking rubber cut workshop? I will bring all the supplies. I just want to show people how to make prints. And look what they did. This was amazing, I think, for a first ever. And I had 2 artists from Iloilo even cross, Roro, Marge, I'm sorry, I forget her last name, Marge and Noel, come in and also do some prints, no? And it's really like a community effort, and it's a nice way to meet more people. I did it again. I couldn't stop. I got addicted. Print Day in May 2019, also at the Once Cafe. So now you can see more of the local artists. We're starting to get really fun. And this is one of my favorite plates here. This is Erika Mayo. There's Karina Brose Gonzaga, my husband Chris, and then Isabel, Liv Gloria, and Abby Batucabe from Manila. And she happened to be in town. So, we did it again. And then I had signed up for an exhibition at the Association of Pinoy Printmakers in June. And I decided to come up with a concept that was a collaborative effort. And I'll describe that shortly. Just before lockdown, there was a printmaking workshop that Mars Bugawan and Balay Tana Dikang, a local gallery here in Talisay, conducted. And I thought it was a fantastic model. You combining printmaking, Negrense hospitality, good food, heritage culture for local artists. Now it's a paid workshop, no? But and it was part of a bungalow's residency program that is connected with Balay Tana Dikang. So Mars conducted a rubber cut workshop over 2 days. I learned more tips also from him. And, I was able to share it in my future workshops. So, for example, we carved and then we printed over Shinkole pages, meaning there's like a collage backgrounds, very colorful. And then we had buffet, merienda, nako, a spread, Negro style food. We had a workshop table with all supplies provided. And then we have, Oi, Gabi! Your spirit animal. Oh.
Sorry,
No. Then we have the second day where we were starting to make prints. But the most fun was a few days later. Nako, we went and had dinner at Lisa De Leon Zyko's house, and she made another spread. So nag-reunion pa kami and celebrate. It was so much fun. Mars turned out to have spent almost a year in lockdown residency here in Negros, But he went away and now he's an honorary Bacolodnon, okay? He's an honorary Bacolodnon artist. So what happened shortly, Marika, was that you invited us to have a conversation with you through the Ateneo Art Gallery, how to teach art in the time of the pandemic. And that was an eye-opener. because we were just dealing with what the effects of the pandemic were. Was in December 2020 or 2019?
When
2020, okay, typo.
people
December 2020. And we had Javi Villasin and Christopher Brasileño, artists from Iloilo. And it started me really thinking. I developed this format for an online workshops. That's because I have attended many online workshops for myself from the US and from Europe. Because I'm so by myself, I have no contact. I have no way to keep learning about techniques. I just wanted to also develop my skills. Okay. So what I got from all those different workshops was that maybe I could try to collaborate with locally based printmakers, no? So I had to identify who they were. And then we would invite attendees and gather the supplies. I was also able to ship, to your location. And we thought about like how long it would take, half day, 2 half days, and with the pandemic protocols. So the format was we would introduce ourselves, we would have structured handouts, including, concepts of design, instruction, and then we did demonstrations. And we did inking and printing, and then there would be Q&A, and then there would be a follow-up. It became the format that we started with, the first one ever, February 8, 2021. Does this bring back memories? Irma, Tin?
Yes.
Okay. So I was working with Linel Gaston, and she is a Silay printmaker who had also learned from Mars. No, and she helped me develop this because it was like a very quick. She was actually stronger in rubber cut than I am. Okay, so when we did it with you, you were sending us pictures of your gorgeous outdoor venue, like a garden studio with jade vine hanging down. And that was lovely. That was lovely. Make cuento a little bit about how that was like.
Okay. This space belongs to Cecil. She's a friend. She's also from Manila, and then decided to retire here in Dumaguete like 30 years ago, ba? 22 years ago. And then, so ayan, she has this payag na also functions as, ano ba tawag dito, mga activities sa activity area sa bahay, sa work. And then, since pandemic, walang activity. And then, 2 lang naman kami, 4. So, naghingi kami ng permission if we can use the payag. And then, sabi niya, okay. Sabi pa nga niya, sige, you can colonize the payag. So we did.
We did every Saturday.
So, meron na kaming mga huge plastic containers. Nandoon lahat ng printing stuff namin. Wala dito sa bahay. Pupunta lang kami doon, dala namin yung sarili namin, and then siguro paper, tapos we can print all day, Saturday, anytime. Mag-message lang kami if we can work doon. And then, ang maganda dito, it's open, wala siyang walls, and so we don't really mind using offset ink kasi hindi namin aamoy. And then it's situated in the middle of I think 4,000 square meter na puro siya halaman, may pond, ayan nga, may jade vine, may staghorn na ang laki-laki na mukha kang kakainin. So it's a very conducive space to work in. We tried one time, yung ginawa mo, Angela, that we got this actual leaf and then printed it. So ayan, sabihin lang natin huwag sila magwawalis. We have additional material. So ayan kami, nakakapag-print nga kami. Ayan, we can finish like, I don't know kung hanggang saan ang kaya namin. And we are also, aside from the 4 of us, sometimes we ask the help of 2 more high school students yan
High
sila,
school
no?
sila.
And ano sila, they need extra cash for, I don't know, sa load nila, para sa online classes nila. So, we hired them to assist us. So, next naman, meron kaming artist assistants, and then studio assistants kami, and then masarap yung feeling kasi parang nakakatulong ba siya, nakakatulong kami, and also they help us, and then slowly we teach them how to print also.
Yeah.
Our rubber cut, we give them the chance na mag-print, and then namin sila, in-encourage na sige, and then we set up, magtatanggap lang tayo ng printing pag super professional na kayo, yung mga ganyan na, ano lang naman siya, super long-term plan, but merong, may mga ganyan kami, mga plano.
I have to point out, this is February 2021. Wala pa kayong mga mask, ha? So, it's okay. Marika, Gabi, do you have any questions? No? Any questions?
So far, wala naman. Nainggit ako sa space.
Okay. So, Marika, eto, indoors by February 14, they're starting to wear masks, no? So this is KANTINA, Roxas City, and through Marika. And we had to do it Zoom, no? Also. So, yeah. Marika, can you make kwento?
Well, first of all, Angela, thank you very much for taking the time to do this workshop with KANTINA. I guess also even during the art talk in Ateneo, I think I mentioned there that because KANTINA was envisioned or conceptualized as a co-learning and co-creation space, the pandemic we really had to adjust and figure out how the co-part of everything will materialize. So we're very thankful with the workshop that you did, because even if it was like at the time, like for now, it's really just the members who were able to benefit from your workshop. But through your workshop, we were able to, I guess, fulfill the concept of the space, no?
Yeah.
Then we're also quite lucky that the internet at that time cooperated as well. And we all know how difficult the signal is.
Yeah, there's a laptop there.
Yeah, but we all had fun.
Yeah.
That's you.
Eto.
But we really had fun. Yeah.
You know?
Because I guess most all of us weren't, this was really something new. So it was a fun activity for us to do together and discover.
It was good bonding, no? It was also like getting very much into a project, a common project, learning. What I noticed in your pictures that you were all sending me, there was like you're helping each other. The attendees were helping each other. Yeah. You know, that was so good to see. So it wasn't as if they were just standing there waiting for the primary host or collaborator to do it. They were helping each other. Mm-hmm. I really like to see that. Yes?
Actually, Angela, I wanted to point out that printmaking is actually something very collaborative, and it's a way, at least from our end, it's another way to solidify your community, because you do work together and you share the material. Yeah. It's also more cost effective that way. Yeah. So it really helped with the bonding process as well.
Yeah, yeah. And the next one, the next workshop is with Gabi. We started it two parts, and the first part was by Zoom. Gabi, can you make cuento?
So what happened was we didn't have an available space because you had to ask a lot of people for permission. So one of the participants decided to offer her house as a venue. But then on the day of the workshop, parang or like days before the workshop pala, na-realize niya na it might not be safe since some of the participants were still unvaccinated. So we adjusted. What we did was I pre-packed the workshop materials and sent them individually to the addresses of all the participants. Hindi naman ganun kadami. 6 people lang naman yung participants. So it was not really that much trouble. Tapos small island lang naman kami. Ayun. So and then we just had to make sure na okay yung connection nila. And then nag-start na. Ayun. Parang go na kami ni Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of coordinated what I would say, but Gabi would step in because I felt that if she was going to continue with the second part, printing and inking, she's going to be right there. So it would be nice for her to share her tips because she's a stronger, relief printmaker than I am. So ito, si Peter Fandinalgo is with San Agustin Iloilo, and he brought along faculty members to attend it. He did have his own workshop later, and I was not able to get enough information yet. But see how it's spreading? Parang our own version of printmaking virus. So, ito, what happened, Gabi? Part 2.
Ayun. So part 2, ayan na. Parang a few weeks ago lang. Ayun.
Oo, it was a month later. Oh.
Oo, kasi ang nangyari, parang we set a date earlier sana. Kaso yung host namin, parang she got vaccinated na and then we waited for her for 14 days para efficient na yung vaccine niya. And then she had a baby kasi. She was taking care of her granddaughter then and we didn't want to endanger her family for printmaking. Kaya yun, we respected the waiting period. And then once okay na siya, parang once the time had passed, I messaged her again na, kumusta ma'am, okay lang ba na mag-print na tayo? Tapos game naman siya, kaya ayan, tuloy-tuloy na rin natapos na. Kaso, parang out of the 6 participants, 3 lang yung sumipot kasi at the last minute, they had work-related matters to attend to, yung other 3 na hindi naka-attend. Yan. Tapos yung isa ata parang kakabakuna lang din. Pero yan, yung labas ng printmaking namin. Ang ganda din ng venue kasi ang daming trees, tapos open air, and then we just set up a table outside. Yung parang, ano yan, balcony ni Ma'am Sylvia. Ayan.
So,
yan, nakita naman sila.
Pwede mag safe, social distancing, distance, kasi you could have like an inking station, medyo malayo. Everybody can have their own little table where you're carving, and then you just go to that inking station so you can ink up the plate and print, no? So, pwede yung distance tables, I think, no? From what I've seen from the pictures, kayang-kaya. Outdoors pa, it would be so lovely. And you're surrounded by nature that can be very inspiring, for the works, no?
Sobra.
So, ito yung mga parang outcomes and learning. So, sandali lang, just, asking you, did the workshops online work for you? Yes? Hands up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you do more? Could you?
Okay. Pwede naman.
Pwede, no? Okay. Was there problems with scheduling and communication?
Sa akin, more of acquisition of materials for participants. Kasi shipping takes a while to arrive. Tapos medyo costly yung ibang materials. Yung inking naman, better talaga if we do it together para, ayun nga, yung ni-raise ni Marika na cost-effective pag sabay-sabay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sa experience nyo, working with the different types of students, do they seem to have, interest or, a little hands-off? Were they interested in printmaking? What reactions did you get?
Sa amin, since yung dalawa namin na very active dito sa printmaking, pareho silang students, one senior and one junior na pala si Princess. Kahit gusto namin na mag-add ng mas madaming tao, so we worry doon sa distancing.
Yeah.
Kahit na open air, ayaw namin mag-take ng risk, and especially these are students, kailangan pa rin ng permission from the parents. So yun lang yung difficulty namin ngayon. And yung original pala na the first workshop sana, may two public school teachers sana. They're teaching senior high, contemporary Philippine art in the regions, from the regions. Masyado lang grabe ang workload nila, kaya last minute nag-back out. And then pero pag medyo siguro kumustahin ko sila kung vaccinated na sila, i-invite namin sila to kami na lang siguro yung magtuturo ng basics, kasi medyo kompleto na kami ng materials, nag-hoard kami. Nakatulong ng malaki yung yung sales namin sa Art in the Park, na nung madami yung sales, parang we can afford CYMK ink, and then loads of papers, hindi kami nang bili. Actually ngayon nga lang kadadating ng ibang papers. And then yung ibang kasama namin na artists dito sa Art in the Park under ILCP, nag din kami sa kanila, nag-inform if they're interested to learn printmaking. Nag-schedule kami. Ano yun?
Static,
Nag-schedule. There's sound. Ano yun?
Static. Gabi. Ayan. Gabi.
Ang galing yung sound.
Okay. Sige.
Unmute.
Balik ako doon sa mga nakasama namin sa ILCP for Art in the Park, recent Art in the Park. So nag-offer din ako if they're interested to learn. Nag-schedule kami sa screen break and sa sem break, that's December. Magla-live kami ng printing kasi lahat kami by then, kaming apat vaccinated na. So mag-live kami via Zoom, and then but before that we'll send them a list of materials to buy.
Yes.
Natutunan na rin naman namin yung alternative materials even before yung workshop mo, Angela.
Yes.
I think 3 years ago yata yan siya. I found alternative materials for rubber cut. So, ayun nga, ginagamit namin na rubber. Tapalodo pala siya ng truck.
Yes.
And then, nagpagawa kami ng carving tool doon sa gumagawa ng stamps ng mga pirma sa sidewalk dito sa mga groceries. So, nakakatawa yung kanyang blade, cutter blades, i-snap off. And then, ilalagay niya sa bamboo handle. So ayun yung and then we used, instead of printmaker's ink or offset ink, gumamit kami ng textile ink. Kasi mas matagal siyang matuyo compare sa acrylic paint. Napupunit namin yung mga papel namin, and then we found out ito nga ding silk screen ink na to, it also comes with a retarder.
Tama.
Malakas lang yung amoy ng tool ko, pero maganda yung colors niya. And then we had to adjust, wala kaming brayer.
Yes.
So we used sponge.
Yes.
Ang dami naming alternatives but eventually na gets ng mga bata kung paano yung process.
Yes.
Kaya nung meron na kaming brayer, ang yabang-yabang nila, parang, ay, ang dali-dali lang pala nito. We
Yun
went
nga.
through hell, pero may brayer pala, may offset ink pala. Ako yung palaging, sorry, kasi yan lang ang nakita ko dito sa Dumaguete. So,
Irma.
ayan yung experience namin.
And ngayon, there's Shopee, ha?
Oo. Na-discover na namin yan. Medyo masama yan kasi ang sarap mag-hoard.
So hold that thought again, because there's more problem solving, huh? That's the printmaker's parang character. We solve problems because it's such a process, and we do need specific tools, but we can try to substitute, and that's a very creative way of dealing with some of our our situational problems. So
Angela, for us, because of the workshop, then the members actually during the course of the workshop realized na, oh, we can buy this from this shop, we can buy this from this store. So because we had to because the kit that you gave, so now we had an understanding na, like, what are the things that we would need. And then, because I remember when we were preparing for the workshop, one of the issues I mentioned to you was, oh my God, how can we continue this? Are these materials available here? So, but when we actually did the workshop and we saw the kit, the members actually said, oh, we can buy this offset ink from this place, or we can source it from this area. So, so naging very possible na we really could get into it.
Yeah.
The only issue naman from our end really was, so check na yung supplies and tools, diba? Pero it was really the idea of coming together because the pandemic nga, and then there were a series of lockdowns, and syempre, you need to also, because KANTINA is where I stay and live, so medyo naging issue din na parang for us to set a date to be together, to print together. So yun lang talaga. But otherwise, we feel na this is really something that we as a team could get into and eventually infect others in Roxas City.
Ayan. That is the next level that I'm hoping, and that's also the fundraiser for the print fair. We are working with relief, and we are just using our hand. So there are substitutions for the inks and the papers and the tools. So here we are going to be fundraising, hoping that we can have this kind of a tabletop model developed and produced locally. Meanwhile, I had sent you a couple of these little 3D printed presses, and they do need, more handling and practice, but it could be another workshop, because it's now not just relief, it's other types of pressure and processes that you would need more pressure. They call it dry point printmaking. They call it collograph and intaglio. So with these alternative presses, you could still make prints until we get this built, no? And that would be parang A4 size. It's 12 inches wide by 20 inches long paper. So your images would be, within that paper size. Then you can also see a pasta machine. If you take the base off the pasta machine and you put it on its side, you can actually pass a thin plate. And the ones that work well, Tetra Pak. Tetra Pak is this foil inside juice boxes. And it takes line drawings very well. So it's now called parang engraved lines. And then it can develop and make, images. There's also a cold laminator, okay? And that's wider it's a pretty wide paper width. And yet it can also print, blocks, plates that might be a little higher. And then here one is, and even Elmer Borlonga has tried this, it's a taco maker, okay? Because you need pressure. So it's a matter of experimenting and exploring. And that's also why I hope that with a community of printmakers, we would be trying different things. And then we would hopefully share it. Because that's all we can do is find substitutions. So, Gabi, welcome back. We were just like going through some alternative etching presses, but I think you would be familiar with the concept, no? And yeah, so that's again, through the community of printmakers, we can answer some of those, solve some of those questions and problems. So the next point I wanted to quickly talk about was print exhibitions and collaborations, even during and after the pandemic. No, I have exhibited with the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, and then I did a project called Exquisite Corpse, and then there was art in the forest park where I met Irma and Tin. That was back in 2019, and then I did another print day in May in 2020. And this is what happened. The Association of Pinoy Printmakers, they've been around for over 50 years. And they have several exhibitions throughout the year. So if you do join and become a member, it is a very professional exhibition. They handle the submissions, very well and carefully. And then, of course, there's the marketing and the promotions that go with it. And Art Fair Philippines has been very supportive of the AP. So AP has had booths at Art Fair Philippines and at Art in the Park. So I was in the shows Art by the Bay, Tirada, and Hands On. So keep that in mind that it could still be an exhibition to be involved in. Now, this is one I did in June before the pandemic, but it was for one of the shows at Tirada. At AP. And it was for that hands-on, this one. They wanted to have a submission that would touch, engage, and create. So not just a two-dimensional print on paper. So I had a chance again to have the group of artists in Bacolod come together. And that was in June, print day in May. The first workshop was all about carving and relief printmaking. And then the second session, Henrielle Pagaliwangan, Kitty Caburo, and Nicole, I'm sorry, I forgot her last name, Nicole T, were visiting from Manila. So I said, Oi, come, you're printmakers, let's have fun at Once. And this time I'll bring my etching press, and it's going to be the next level of printmaking, no? And what happened was I was able to make a 4-volume book of prints, 16 plates from 16 artists, and it was a collaboration. And it was called Exquisite Corpse. And when you turn the pages, you're mixing up the head, the body, the torso. So, it was a great idea because we could send each other prints and then we can bind it ourselves and then we can have our own, book. Art in the Forest Park was December 2019. And it was a fundraiser for Talarak Foundation and the Negros Forest Park. It was developed by Don Coswanco, Dr. Don Coswanco, an art collector and a person with a big heart. So I was starting with my cyanotypes and I wanted to have a booth fundraiser. And what I did was I invited the Association of Pinoy Printmakers, send prints over and I will sell them for you. So that there was an opportunity also for the printmakers to have some sales, to be involved in a fundraising effort. And it was, very well done. It was great PR. It was also a great cause. So, Print Day in May 2020. Okay, what do we do now? It's pandemic. I did it via Zoom. So that day, I contacted as many printmakers as I could. And what they did was, are you going to make prints that day? Or can you join us in the evening with a Zoom meeting, and will you show prints you've made? So we have Vilya Jefremovas from Sagada, now based in Toronto, Elmer Borlongan, Joey Cobcobo, Hershey Malinis. And this was our Facebook group for Print Day in May via Zoom. And it was like 11 printmakers coming. And we had a good time just talking and showing our prints and talking about it. Then Print Fair was being planned. So we changed the group from Print Day in May. It became a group for Print Fair Limbag Kamay, and all the printmakers who were joining. I hope I invited you. I sent invitations. Irma, Tin, Marika, Gabi. I don't know if I did, no, but I should. Because that's what, it was going to be announcements. It was going to be about some sharing. It depends on activity. You know, people are very busy, but it's kind of nice to know that it's there as a resource for sharing news. And I don't know what the future will be for this Facebook group, no? I was thinking about video hosting, you know, the video processes when you're making prints. Maybe it might appear on the Facebook page, but that's something that we'll determine later on. So again, when we're talking about exhibitions, collaborations, what would be the possibilities? You know, would this be possible with your art group? What would you need? You don't have to answer this. It's just thinking about it. You know, what would you need? Resources and funding. Can you tell which among your community or attendees would be interested to participate? This is the big question I am throwing out there. Would you help test printmaking techniques and available supplies? You know, the way Irma, you know, you're so like willing to do anything. Nako, I hope to count on that. And then, you know, would you have any other thoughts? So, you know, just quickly, would you be able to answer this, you know, in your head? Or do you have one very big obstacle or situation that maybe we could talk about and solve? Otherwise, you know, think about it and be open to this during the pandemic and even later. Okay?
Yeah. If I may share, Angela, I think because of the workshop that you conducted with us, I think, and now also hearing what Irma and Tin discovered in Dumaguete, I think printmaking is actually, aside from it being a very community-based endeavor, I think part of the exploration is really about finding whatever sources you have in your own province or locale. And what's interesting is that initially I had so much fears would be able to source whatever from paper to inks. But then, after doing the workshop, we realized na we can find ways. Especially, very inspiring yung kwento nila Irma na ang daming alternatives. Plus, with the online shopping craze, you can actually get stuff. And thank you also, Irma, for pointing out that Sir Ray Concepcion's brayers are really, it's nicely made. So I'd like to also promote Sir Ray's brayers if in case anyone order from him.
Sir Ray brayer users.
Diba? Sir Ray brayer babies.
Oo.
Bumili din
Very
kami niyan.
Ako rin. Si Angela rin ata.
What's gonna? Yeah,
Possible anywhere.
yeah. That's a whole thing about. I had the good fortune to have the time and the resources to look for substitutions because parang I brought with me supplies. And after 3 years of being here and not making prints, my supplies are drying up. They're getting moldy. They're rusty. I was like, what's going to happen? Well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I went and started to get, researched into availability, but I don't have the time to keep testing. So I'd hope to invite, you guys to say, hey, if I sent you a little can of ink, would you try it? If I sent you a piece of paper, would you try it? Because we can only learn and share from each other. So what I do offer is that since I keep studying techniques and tips from abroad, a lot of printmakers and teachers teaching printmaking through lockdown, they got very creative, teaching their students how to use equipment or materials from your kitchen, how to make ink, how to make color. So it's also gotten this very big creative problem-solving community that we can learn from and just keep sharing. So that, yes, as you learn the different types of printmaking, and there are 5, 6, 7 types, subsegments, subtypes, then you're going to keep exploring it. Then you can push yourself to good quality supplies and inks, from abroad. Because if you're passionate about what you're doing, you will go for the best possible. That's the reason why they're so good, the inks or the paper. But while you're learning, you also don't want to spend too much money, so you'll do something cheaply because you just want to get the process. But by learning from other printmakers, what is the ideal print, using good ink, using pressure from an etching press instead of by hand, that's where we can develop more workshops together. There's got to be a standard. I think, Gabi, that like, why can't I go to you for relief printmaking because you're so good at it? No. If I go to Wesley Valenzuela for silkscreen because he's so good at it, Noel Alfarol for monotypes or Jess Flores, why not? We just have to approach them. Turns out they are so helpful because they were educators at one time, so they're still in that sharing mode. Okay, so what's about the future? There, I want ongoing testing of techniques and available supplies. Let's have a database. Collecting, talking. Okay, do you know a gallery or an exhibition venue in your area? We could apply for NCCA grants and exhibition proposals as a group of printmakers. No? Gabi, you've gotten a grant for a solo. Naku, can you help us with a group show?
Pwede naman po.
Yeah, see? So, it's like just trying something, but at least we're guided. We have print fairs and fundraising for a cause, and they can be online. You know that. Art in the Park, online, you sold a lot. Let's do it again. Then the concept of print trades and exchanges is something that's being done also abroad. And that's where, with an addition of 10 prints, 1/10, 10/10, there's 5 of us. What if we make a trade, 1 for each one of us, 5 out of the addition of 10?
Yeah, game.
You have your own collection of 5 works. And then we box it. And then the remaining 5 editions, we sell it as an edition.
Yeah. Magandang idea.
Ganon. And so that's the print trade and exchange. And that's how you can also continue to foster community, because we would have to regularly meet, we would have to share resources, and we can report, with Zoom meetings or messenger chats. what's going on.
Mm.
The last point, play dates. Nako, it's my favorite. Studio visits, how? And residencies, okay? I miss this, no? I got very nostalgic. When Chris and I retired, my husband and I retired, and here to Negros, we wanted to have that kind of social community of friends. Ako, artists, printmakers, I'm hosting them, have a guest room. Chris, he loves to cook. Okay, perfect combination. So through the years, I have hosted for play dates in the residency, si Ambi Abanyo. She was amazing in sharing the materials and the papers that, UP students have to use. So that got me thinking, how do we find the substitutions? Henrielle Pagaliwangan, it was so much fun. She happened to be in town for her show at the Orange Project, and she was showing me her dry point. It's like for the price of hosting them for a dinner, I get a free printmaking lesson. It was amazing. And then Kitty Cabero and I, met up too. But this is not printmaking, but it was a creative endeavor we did. It was Polaroid emulsion transfers. And she goes home with her own print. And I go home, I stay home, I've got videos and photographs, for my album. And then we try to end with a dinner. The local friends, from the art groups or guests that Ambi said she hasn't seen her friends in a while. Could she invite them? That was the whole point. We wanted to invite them over for dinner. Other play dates, okay? So I've got a local art group, Fred Orig, Dennis Valenciano, Leah Sampson, Liv Gloria, Lisa Zyko. They say, I've learned printmaking. How do we do that again? I say, I'll come to the house. I'll show you. I have a demo. And then here's Jel Suarez and Gino, and we're doing, rubber cut. Finally, just the pandemic, and I'm with Mars, and we're exchanging. We're exchanging, huh? He is giving me a print, and I'm giving him a cyanotype. So it's like, I'm so sad that we can't do it again, but we will. About a studio visit. Okay, and this is from Elmer Borlongan. He is open to a studio visit. He's sharing it. He's very happy to share it on Instagram, Facebook. It's Pasilio Press in Zambales. He's very generous with tips and resources and encouragement. No, so that is already a major artists and major printmakers are wanting to come back again into printmaking, explore it as a medium, and encourage others. So, would playdates be possible with your studio practice? Could we do it online or in person? And other thoughts. If I did a studio visit with you, I'd want to show you something that I did, and this is how I did it. We can Zoom, we can chat. Or I can check in with you, or we could have a work in progress. Even critiquing. Would you like to share your work in progress? But if you're thinking of variations, would you want to open it up to discussion and reviews? Because, it can be lonely and you're stuck at something. Maybe somebody else could come up with an idea for you.
Magandang idea, Angela. Kasi parang binalik yung sa art school, di ba? We have that privilege of having our peers critique our work. It's a good thing that you mentioned that na pwede naman, online. Pakita mo lang yung prints mo. Tapos, oo, yun. Go lang.
No, continue with that because, and let's just say, you have a good mix. Printmakers with a strong skill, you invite them to that particular, Zoom meeting.
Critique session.
Critique session with a pro. Silk screen, sino? Who can we call upon? Because Elmer's been doing that Zoom with students. and universities. Oo. So it's like it can be done to extend printmaking and learning beyond, the school or through the pandemic. I'm collecting the database. Okay, I want to put it on a map, because where will I want to go when the pandemic is over and I want to travel again? Where can I go throughout the country if I want to see a residency? And possibilities, a bungalow. I'm talking to, Angela Silva. Orange Project is part of a national group of residencies. Palawan, Alexis Oshima doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to approach her. I've done the workshop with her, and if she wants to come back to Negros, I will host her. Oh, see, that's the kind of, exchange you can do. With workshops naman, you are a printmaker and you could be freelance. Do you want to teach online, in person? And you could charge for it. I mean, your time is also valuable, but you could also generate income. And then you can join art communities throughout the island. So, for example, if I were to go to Escanita Art Farm, and they said they were considering it, I got it from Alwin Ramillo. San Agustin College, Iloilo, is developing their curriculum and they would like a bigger press. UP Baguio, and Farah Manuel, she's an educator there. It's like wherever you want to visit throughout the islands, you might end up with a residency or a studio visit or a workshop. So what we would need is a database.
Nice. That's a nice idea, Angela, if you could actually map it so that pinpoint talaga visually, instead of just a list. So parang nag-mapping ka ng printmaking studios, so that's a good idea.
Yun nga eh, I couldn't get it ready enough for this presentation, but I asked my husband, who's a quick sketch artist, cartoonist, to draw a map, and then we'll pinpoint the centers with a little symbolic braille or something. But it's like, it could become a resource. I guess the question would be, so where do we keep all these good ideas? Where do we gather this resource and be able to make it, share it or schedule Zoom meeting?
Pwede po gumawa ng site, or if not, Facebook group na lang muna, and then para madali lang mag-reply doon.
Yun nga eh. So that's the next question after Limbag Kamay Print Fair. What happens to that Facebook group? Right now, I'm an admin, and I'm admitting members. But it would also be nice that it's not so public that it's just open to anybody, but parang by membership or something. So again, we have to think about what we can do with social media. So the future, database, map, networking, social media, continue with that, personally, as a group, printmaking residencies, studio visits where you can share tips, resources, and encouragement. And open yourselves up to artist groups outside of Manila and NCR. They all seem to be heavily clustered there. But look at us. We're in the Visayas and we're having a great time already, And we have beautiful islands, no? We have Bukid and Baybay, that can happen.
So work and play.
Yeah.
They will hate us.
Yes.
And we also have good food, and hospitality. So culture. So just let's form that community and see much more we can do together. No? So let's continue to meet up somehow and we will make prints. I think this is the end of it. And I was just, in closing, would you have a message, each one of you, to all the people who have been viewing this and joining Print Fair or want to know more? What would be your best advice?
For me, for any Boholano artists who are watching this, I'm here. I'm a printmaker. If you would like to learn, we can set up a date. We'll just have to make sure na vaccinated tayo at we have a safe space. Ayun. Ayun. Pero I'm really open to offering to share my skills. Ganun. However limited they may be. Ayun. Oo, ayan.
Thank you. Thank you. Oy, Bohol, you're so lucky. You know? And then how about you, Marika? You're now in Manila visiting or for a while.
I guess just want to say, I think this and we're all beginners in this new technique. So I want to encourage everyone to actually get into this. It's something that don't be fearful about the materials and the know-how, because it's printmaking is actually a good way to explore your creativity. So the same way we did in Cantina. So get into it and explore.
Thank you. Thank you. Ayan. Tin.
As a full-time worker and doing art on weekends or any spare time possible, we should set time, may time boundaries, because maloloka talaga tayo ngayon, especially during this pandemic. Kung dire-diretso tayo nag-work online, it really blurs time. It blurs the calendar. We do not know what day it is. So, for me, it's better na we set, halimbawa kami, every Saturday. So, I look forward to Saturdays kasi we will print on Saturdays. So, ayun lang na it's not, and then, for me, this is not a hobby or to para maiba lang yung araw ko or what. It is also something that I want to take seriously, and it is possible. Mahirap lang kasi merong full-time work na sobrang demanding at meron kang dream world, ganyan. Dapat mo rin siyang bigyan ng time and effort, gano'n. So, but in the end, it's possible if you want to make it work.
Okay. Sa akin, those who are listening or watching this na nandito sa Negros Oriental, since we can travel across borders, and then meron naman din Facebook, you can contact us para we can invite you to our plan of going live sa printmaking this December, December break. Goodbye Christmas. So, ayan, it's possible. Siguro manood lang muna kayo, and then kung talagang nagustuhan, then we will set up, we can schedule another session na ma-invite na natin tayong lahat, tayong apat, tayong 5 dito na siguro papagtulungan natin yung mga ibibigay natin ng mga workshops. So, ayan lang.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's like, have brayer, will travel. Travel kit, But if you're going to have a play date naman, whoever you're going to has a studio. So, they would have supplies. So treat them to lunch or dinner, or bring good alcohol, drinks. So, it can be a very social practice, but also individually, like
enriching,
and you're not alone.
Oh,
That's one thing, because I think with painters and other artists, they're very solitary, and that's okay, But let's just say you do have a good sketch, the beginning of a print, and then you want to try and say, well, what will I do? Will I use silk screen? Will I do intaglio? Will I do relief? it adds a dimension to that sketch or painting. And then what's nice too about it is that you can explore mixed media, layering processes, and so many things. So I'm so glad you're joining me with my passion for printmaking, because I'm also on a journey learning what I want to do. And thank you also for joining Print Fair. It's a start. It's the first online fair. And who knows, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing more outside of a fair, exhibitions. But thank you for joining the community. So,
Salamat din.
Thank you, Rin, for reaching out.
Yeah. So again, want to say goodbye, and I'm going to stop recording, and maybe we can just say our personal goodbyes when I stop the recording. Okay, everyone. Wait, how can I take a picture? No, how do you take?
I think I'm back. And that was so good to see it all over again. And well, we have to be ready with some Q&As that were coming up, but they were mostly good comments. So I'd like to introduce and bring back Marika Constantino. Marika, cheers. And then we have Gabi Nazareno. Glass of wine. Hi, Gabi.
Yeah.
And then we have Irma Lacorte and Tin Palattao from Dumaguete. No? So welcome back, everybody. Irma, unmute. Oi, unmute. Irma. Ayan.
Unmute. Okay.
Toast, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Limbag Kamay. And here's to more meetings. And, we're going to do it. No, we were talking a lot more afterwards, so we'll do it. There were a lot of comments. I don't know if you caught that. That parang Mars Agrippa made a comment. Will you adopt me? They were looking for Surrey Concepcion's sprayers, and then flashing on the screen that there's a discount coupon. Oh, where can I find those sprayers? So we have that answer, and that is from Surrey Concepcion. He can actually be contacted. Marika, you know him? No?
You can search for him in Facebook, Serrey, Serrey Concepcion, and just send him a PM.
Look at that. Oh, he has the Surrey label, 4 inches. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Product batch. Second batch.
The second batch?
Ilang inches
What?
yan?
This is 2 inches. The first batch was 4.
First batch was 4. Did you get the 6-inch? An
Yeah,
Hindi
8
pa.
inch?
Hindi pa. Next.
Ayan.
Yeah.
8-inch. Nako, 2 hands ito, ha? 2 hands. That is so. It's a lot of things that you can get, on Shopee, or if you have friends abroad. Christmas is coming up. Umorder na lang ng mga.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Saan ka
I don't know
nakahanap?
how. I don't know how I'm going to use it, huh? So, bahala na. But
Para
this
na tayong infomercial.
Gusto ko yan, yung 2 handles para medyo
Wow.
even yung muscle definition.
Ayan.
Arm.
Oo, and then, dami ko pang mga, okay. Alam mo yung mga inkjet printer na retaso na surplus because nasira. And you cannot clean it, na-clogged na. And you might as well throw it away. Wag mo na. Take it apart. Kunin mo yung rollers. And then, ito, yung handle, yung mga lumang The old utensil spoons, no, the
Oh.
very cheap. You can
Oo.
stick it inside. So gumawa ka ng ano to? Half an inch brayer. Oh.
MacGyver lang.
Yun nga. So, Irma, ayan, you can top this. Meron ka ba? No?
Meron kami, pero hindi na siya brayer.
Barren na siya.
Barren.
Ha? Ano ba yan?
It's light socket. Ouch. Light socket siya. And then, gumamit ako ng
Holland.
epoxy and then Holland. Yung marble.
Epoxy and Holland. Uy!
Oo.
How does it work?
Okay naman, nakakapagod, but it's heavy, so medyo konti na lang yung pressure na kailangan. Gagawan kita nito, Angela. Yeah. Nag-promise ako, padala kita nito.
Okay. Pwedeng umorder. Wag pink, wag baby blue. Ayoko ng mga colors niyan. Sorry, Lenny. I don't do pink, no? Pero okay lang yun para kay Lenny.
No? Depende sa availability ng marbles.
Holland.
Sige.
Well, pwede rin puti. White Holland. Okay.
Sige.
Gabi, wala ka pang mga ideas?
Kung magpadala kami ng marble sa'yo.
Ayan.
Ilang layers ba yan? Ilang barons ba kailangan?
Madali lang siya, Marika. Yung light socket, put a flat layer of epoxy, let it dry overnight na ganyan para mag-set siya ng flat. The following day, epoxy ulit and then press the marbles. And then hintayin mo siya Kasi ang bottom part ng socket, siya, naka-dent. So kung idiretso mo siya after the epoxy, hindi flat yung marbles. Like this is a mistake. So kailangan siyang ulitin. Pangmasahe na lang siya. It's good for
Tama. Meron.
Totoo, masarap.
Sandali. Parang
Meron ka nito, Angela. Meron ka nito.
Yun nga. I have to look for it, yung massage ball ko. Yung pinakita ko. Nako, where is it? Baka ginamit ng asawa ko. And it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Chris. No?
Happy birthday.
Okay. If I can find it, no, my studio is not as neat as Elmer's. Nako. Grabe yung studio niya. It was so neat. He can find anything. I cannot. Ito. Sample ko. Alam mo yung mga cosmetic bottle, L'Oreal, jar for pampakinis, moisturizer. No? I did. Pinahiram ko lang to a friend, no? Pero sa baba, ball bearings that you can epoxy. And then, ganun din. No? So, just think about a holder and then the little, bola-bola. Mga chains, mga ball chains. No? So, ganun. Whenever I go to the hardware store, parang art supply store na yun eh. You can go to, you can find, or yung sa kitchen, nako, yung mga gamit ni Chris, he's the cook eh. Nawawala. He will ask me if it's in my studio. And if I use it, we can't use it for food anymore, hindi na yun pwede. So, be careful next time you come over and you eat dinner, ha? Baka ano nang ginamit. Okay. So, I'm trying to see if there's any questions, no? But I don't think so. And I don't know about, holding you back from dinner and my birthday celebration with my husband. So anyway, I'd like to toast everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today, for being available, and now for being a good, close printmaking friend. And getting ourselves inky and together. So let's continue. This is just the beginning, and we'll be in touch, no? And I just want to thank everybody who's been viewing us. Limbag Kamay Contemporary Print Fair welcomes you, thanks you very much. And then cartolino.com. Maybe let's take a look at what we can share and ask questions about the process. How did you make this print? Ganon. I hope you'll be able to answer and help them. So in closing, just a quick closing. Marika, any good words for everybody?
First of all, thank you for the invitation, and thank you talaga, Angela, for opening our eyes to this very wonderful method slash technique. We're very grateful, and we're looking forward to exploring more things with you.
Thank you. Sure. Anytime. Gabi, how about you?
Thank you for reaching out to us virtually. I hope we can meet in person someday. Tapos, ayun, thank you for your time and energy. Grabe, yung energy talaga.
Oo.
Oo.
What we're gonna do, remember magroro tayo, ha? We'll start
Oo.
at, yung pinakamalayo is Bohol, no? And then to Dumaguete. And then overland, Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental, and then across the Guimaras Strait to Roxas City. Pwede? No?
That's the
Pwede.
plan.
Hindi.
Sige.
Parang kakalabas lang sa news na pwede na rin mag-travel to Bohol without the RT-PCR test. So, good sign.
Wow. So,
Oo.
sana lang,
Pag
we're all
vaccinated pala. Ayun.
yeah, we're all vaccinated. You get your little vaccination travel card ready, no? And then, ayun, extra masks and extra paper and extra ink, no? Okay. Irma, Tin, yung daring duo, kamusta?
Okay lang. We start printing again on Saturdays of November.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Are you planning something special soon or show, exhibit? Ano? Anybody wants to make an announcement?
Hindi pa
Hint, hint?
sigurado. Hindi pa sigurado. Wag muna. I-announce na lang pag nandyan na. Nakakatakot.
Sige.
But
Sige.
salamat Angela for all this.
And for
Siya.
being so generous with the tips and materials. Grabe ka magbigay ng tip. Sobrang generous.
I may have tried everything at least once. Pero yung research nakin, yeah, it's a lot. So I just have to I want to keep trying, something new.
Yes.
So
And very
again,
practical.
oh yeah, because in the Philippines, survivor tayo lahat eh.
Mandirigma lahat. Lahat wala.
Exactly. So we do it. We do the best we can. So everybody, ladies, I really want to say this now. Thank you very much again, and we'll see it. We'll spread the printmaking love. No, okay. So we might as well end here. Salamat gid sa inyo, and take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.